Hi everyone, I'm Linda Reimer, one of the librarians at the Southeast Steuben County Library. Welcome to Library Connections, our weekly readers and listeners advisory video cast. Enjoy. Library Connections number 118. This is the Friday, October 14th, 2022 edition of Library Connections. Jumping right in with the top 5 fiction bestsellers for this week from the New York Times. At number 1, Righteous Prey by John Sanford, the 32nd book in the Prey series. Virgil Flowers and Lucas Davenport go after a group of vigilante killers. At number 2, Verity by Colleen Hoover. Loan Ashley is hired by the husband of an injured writer to complete her popular series, and she uncovers a horrifying truth. At number 3, It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. A battered wife, raised in a violent home, attempts to halt the cycle of abuse. At number 4, Mad Honey by Jodi Picoult and Jennifer Finney Boland. After returning to her hometown, Olivia McAfee's son gets accused of killing his crush. And at number 5, Fairy Tale by Stephen King. A high school kid inherits a shed that is a portal to another world, where good and evil are at war. Moving on to the top 5 nonfiction bestsellers for this week, at number 1, Confidence Man by Maggie Haberman. The New York Times White House correspondent traces events from Donald Trump's rise in New York City through to his post-presidency. At number 2, I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. The actress and filmmaker describes her eating disorders and difficult relationship with her mother. At number 3, Live Wire by Kelly Ripa. The Daytime Emmy Award-winning TV host shares stories from her life on and off the screen. At number 4, Killing the Legends by Bill O'Reilly with Martin Dugard. The conservative commentator's Killing series profiles Elvis Presley, John Lennon, and Muhammad Ali. And at number 5, The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk. How trauma affects the body and mind, and innovative treatments for recovery. Okay, so disclaimer before I jump in with the first recommended read of the week. Yes, Linda is a big Star Trek fan, so this book is about Star Trek. It's a new book called Phasers on Stun: How the Making and Remaking of Star Trek Changed the World, written by Ryan Britt. Britt combines his extensive knowledge of Star Trek with interviews conducted over the past decade to craft a thoughtful exploration of the show's history. His narrative bridges fact with fandom and is packed with fun anecdotes, such as how Spock's famous ears were first hastily made out of papier mâché. But the book's ultimate mission is highlighting why Star Trek continues to be a groundbreaking series. From Nichelle Nichols as Lieutenant Uhura to Michelle Yeoh as Captain Georgiou and beyond, Britt shows readers how Star Trek has always been at the forefront of representation and the effect those efforts have had on television and in popular culture. Footnotes throughout the text provide additional entertaining insights and the bibliographical references for each chapter are useful for further research. Britt's lively writing style will engage newer fans and confirmed Trekkies alike. Verdict: while Britt's insightful and entertaining history may not take fans where no one has gone before, he still offers a fun ride that few fans will be able to resist. And that's the Library Journal review. Moving on to our second recommended read for the week. This is a cozy mystery, as you could probably tell by the cover, and that's a great cover. It's called 2 Parts Sugar and 1 Part Murder, written by Valerie Burns. Arriving in a snowstorm, California girl Madison Montgomery has come to New Bison, Michigan to receive her great-aunt Octavia's bequest of a mansion on the lake and a popular bakery. Meeting with a lawyer, Maddie learns that to receive the bequest, she needs to live in the mansion for a year, run the bakery, and care for Baby, a 200-pound mastiff. A lover of designer clothes and all things social media, Maddie is wholly unprepared for her new responsibilities. For starters, she doesn't bake. Then the mayor is fatally stabbed. Maddie's fingerprints are on the murder weapon, and a fire set to cover up the crime destroys the bakery. Now committed not only to clearing her name, but also to making the business a success, using social media of course, she starts by learning to bake. Townspeople loyal to Aunt Octavia, they call themselves the Baker Street Irregulars, support Maddie's search for the killer. A lively series launch with an edgier heroine than in the baking frame novels of Joanne Fluke. And that's the Booklist review. So if you're looking for a fun, cozy, perfect for this time of year, check out this one. Moving on to our first audiobook recommendation for this week. It's called Double Exposure. It's a novel by Ava Barry. The audio is read by Angela Rose Massey. Hollywood P.I. Rainey Hall, the narrator of the seductive neo-noir from Barry, harbors a dangerously soft spot for certain vulnerable-seeming clients, especially ones as alluring as Melia Van Ost. 4 years after the notorious, never-solved attack at Melia's wealthy family's hillside home, wow, try saying that 10 times fast, but I digress. Getting back to Melia's wealthy family's hillside home and the attack that left her parents butchered, Melia, now 22, approaches Rainey with what seems a simple request. Find out who's been sending her the increasingly threatening letters she fears might be coming from her fugitive younger brother Jasper, who disappeared the night of the murders. It emerges that there's little straightforward about either the case or Melia herself, and that Rainey might be putting not only her heart, but her life in jeopardy. Rainey's clouded personal history, including both her past as a globetrotting violin prodigy and the aching void left when her artist mother vanished when she was 15, adds intrigue. And she has a gift for tossing off memorable lines, such as the observation she remembers her late conductor father once making. Quote, "Los Angeles is a place of dead poetry." End of quote. This evocative novel demonstrates that both the city and its magic remain very much alive. And that's the Starred Publishers Weekly Review. Moving on to our second audiobook recommendation for this week. This one's a thriller by Jeremy Scott. It's called when the corn is waist high. The audio is read by Thom Rivera. Solomon Lancaster, the highly original narrator of this mystery set in 1980s Indiana, is not only the sheriff of Crooked Creek, Indiana, but also the town's Catholic priest. Lancaster has long feared that those two roles might conflict, and that soon happens when 84-year-old Tina Hillary is found on her kitchen floor during a wellness check. There are no usual signs of violence, though her left hand cradles a lily whose stem has been sewn into her arm. Lancaster opposes outside assistance, but he's overruled following the discovery of the body of 17-year-old Katie McGuire in the town creek, her hand severed and replaced with daffodils. McGuire, who was distraught over an unplanned pregnancy, recently took confession with Lancaster. The lawman must navigate a tense working relationship with the FBI as he tries to catch the murderer. Ample dry humor leavens a plotline that thoughtfully explores the heart of human darkness. Scott demonstrates that an imaginative author can make such tired tropes as a serial killer hunt fresh. Michael Corita admirers will be enthralled. And that's the Starred Publishers Weekly Review. Want more reading, listening, and viewing recommendations? Check out the Tech and Book Talk blog, which offers weekly and monthly recommendations, and the back catalog of Library Connections videos found on the Southeast Bend County Library's YouTube channel. Moving on to our next section, next week at the library, taking a brief look at the programs and activities hosted by the library for the week ahead of us. This time around, that's the week of October 17th through the 22nd. This information can also be found online. Simply visit the library's website located at ssclibrary.org and click on the big bold calendar link you'll see located near the top of the page. And on a registration note, registration is required for programs unless otherwise specified, or unless the program is of the on-demand online variety, in which case, of course, just click and play, or tap and play. You can register for programs through the library's website, by calling the library, or just plain dropping by. On Monday, October 17th, we've got two programs at the library, both in the evening. The first is Happy Tales Therapy Dog Storytime for kids. The Happy Tales runs from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. and does indeed offer kids an opportunity to read to therapy dogs. Then from 5:30 to 7 p.m. we've got the monthly Crafting with Kimberly. This time around they're creating personalized shadow boxes. So you have to register for that second program. On Tuesday, October 18th, we've got a whole host of programs at the library. It's our busiest program day, kicking things off with Adult Scrabble from 9 to 11 a.m. This program is held in the library's reading room. Then from 9:15 to 10:15 a.m., we have Coffee, Tea, and English Vocabulary. This is a hybrid program being held both in person and via Zoom. The series is, of course, for adult learners of English, and I say of course, but if you're not familiar with Coffee, Tea, and English, that is what it is. It's for adult learners of English. They have a lot of fun, too. And I'm digressing a little bit. Moving along to Storytime with Miss Sue, which runs from 10 to 10:30 on Tuesday the 18th. This program is being held at the library. And then from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m., it's the Coffee, Tea, and English Conversation, which is also a hybrid program. And in the afternoon on October 18th, we have Gatless, Gay at the Library After School, which runs from 3 to 4:30 p.m. This program offers a safe and supportive space to talk about gender, sexuality, and what's going on with you and teens like you. This program is open to anyone ages 11 through 18, which is grades 6 through 12, and it will run every Tuesday from 3 to 4:30 p.m. And then in the evening from 6 to 7 p.m., it's the October Drive-Through STEM Hovercraft. So this time around, you're picking up your kit to create a hovercraft with an online component that shows you how to do that. And if you register for this program, you will pick up your kit to create the hovercraft between 6 and 7 p.m. on October 18th. On Wednesday, October 19th, our first program of the day is Miss Sue's Preschool Storytime, which is being held at the library from 10 to 10:30 a.m. Then from 1 to 3 p.m., it's the weekly Mahjong, which is held in the library's reading room. Then we have a program that has been postponed. It's the Atlas program for young adults, and it will be rescheduled and was originally scheduled for 3 p.m. on the 19th, but it has been postponed with a new date to be determined. And then finally, we have the Corning Adult Writers Group, which meets from 6 to 8 p.m. on the 19th. And the offering is both in person and via Zoom, so in other words, hybrid. On Thursday, the 20th of October, and boy, the month is going fast, we've got the Coffee, Tea, and English Book Club from 10 to 11:30 a.m. This is a hybrid program being held both in person at the library and via Zoom. And then the Scratch program, which is also for young adults, is postponed. So there will be no Scratch program on the 20th. That will be rescheduled. On Friday, October 21st, we've got two programs. There's the debut of the new episode of Library Connections at 1 p.m., which you'll be able to access both on Facebook and through the library's YouTube channel. And then from 4 to 6:30 p.m., it's the Teen Dungeons and Dragons. This program is held at the library. The group will be led by Dungeon Master Jason, and this gathering is suitable for ages 13 through 17. All levels of experience will be welcomed in this safe space. You could come to one gathering, or you could come to all of them. So whenever you see Teen Dungeons and Dragons on the library's calendar of events, just know that you're welcome to drop in. On Saturday, October 22nd, we have two programs to offer. The first is the Mini Maker Drop-In from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And as you might expect with that description, you can drop in any time between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. to make the simple craft to then take home. So you don't have to come and be here from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. No worries. You can drop in any time during that period. And if you want to reserve a spot, a time slot to come in, you don't have to, but if you'd like to, contact Miss Sue. She'll do that for you. The project of the month will be a surprise, but you can be sure it will be something fun and creative. And that's especially true if Miss Sue is involved because she is fun and creative. And then from 2 to 3 p.m., we have the monthly Yoga in the Parks program with Elizabeth Moses. This month, the location is Kinsella Park in Painted Post, unless it's raining. If it's raining, the program will be live streamed. Just check our Facebook page for details. And here briefly is the list of library programs contacts. If you have questions about any of our programs, let us know. And that's the program for this week. I'll be back next week with a new edition of Library Connections. Have a great week.